That satisfying crunch in your morning bowl, the clusters you sprinkle over yogurt thinking you are doing something good for your body, the bag with earthy packaging and promises of whole grains sitting in your pantry right now. What if everything you believed about that granola was carefully designed to mislead you? Weed killer residue linked to cancer, sugar levels that rival candy bars, heavy metals accumulating in your organs with every single bite, and labels engineered by marketing teams to make you feel safe while the companies behind them quietly settle lawsuits and change their packaging before you ever find out. For seniors managing their blood sugar, for parents packing school lunches, for anyone who trusted that wholesome branding, these granolas carry secrets the companies never wanted you to discover. I spent weeks going through lab reports, class action filings, FDA warning letters, and independent testing data that most shoppers will never see. Today, I am exposing 10 granola brands you need to remove from your kitchen immediately. But stay until the end, because I will also reveal 3 brands that actually earn your trust through verified testing and real transparency. Some of what I found genuinely surprised me, and if you have been eating any of these brands for years, you deserve to know what has been hiding in plain sight inside that wholesome-looking bag. On number 10, we have the brand America trusts most, Nature Valley. That iconic green packaging, those commercials showing hikers conquering mountain trails. For decades, Nature Valley positioned itself as the face of healthy snacking. General Mills convinced millions of families that reaching for a Nature Valley bar meant choosing something natural and wholesome. Then the lawsuits revealed what natural actually meant. In 2016, 3 consumer advocacy groups, including Moms Across America, filed a complaint against General Mills. Their accusation was damning. Nature Valley granola contained glyphosate, the active ingredient in Monsanto's Roundup weed killer. Independent laboratory testing found 0.45 parts per million of the chemical in bars labeled "made with 100% natural whole grain oats." The World Health Organization classifies glyphosate as probably carcinogenic to humans. California officially lists it as a chemical known to cause cancer. Yet there it sat, inside a product marketed to health-conscious families across America. General Mills settled the lawsuit. They agreed to remove the 100% natural claim from their packaging. They never admitted any wrongdoing. They simply changed the label quietly and kept selling millions of boxes. The Environmental Working Group later tested Nature Valley products and found glyphosate levels ranging from 120 to 566 parts per billion, depending on the variety. Their maple brown sugar bars registered 566 parts per billion. That is more than 3 times higher than the health benchmark EWG scientists consider protective for children. Pour some into a bowl and look at the ingredient list. Sugar appears multiple times under different names. Corn syrup, brown sugar syrup, molasses. One serving of their protein granola packs 16 grams of sugar. That rivals a glazed donut disguised as breakfast. For diabetics managing glucose levels, this product is a trap dressed in hiking boots. For pregnant women trying to avoid known toxins, glyphosate crosses the placental barrier. The Nature in Nature Valley turned out to be a legal settlement and a quiet label redesign. And that is only the beginning. The brand coming up next, tested at levels nearly 18 times higher than child safety benchmarks. On number 9, the numbers get truly alarming. Quaker Simply Granola. Quaker has been a breakfast institution since your great-grandparents were young. That friendly man on the package, the words simply suggesting clean and uncomplicated ingredients. PepsiCo owns Quaker now, and what independent testing revealed shows you exactly where corporate priorities actually lie. When the Environmental Working Group tested oat-based products in 2018, Quaker products dominated the contamination rankings. Quaker oatmeal squares registered 2,837 parts per billion of glyphosate. That is nearly 18 times higher than EWG's health benchmark for children, the single highest level found in any product they tested. Simply Granola specifically appeared on the list of products with potentially unsafe levels. The oats Quaker sources get sprayed with glyphosate right before harvest. Farmers use it as a desiccant to dry out crops faster for more efficient harvesting. Efficiency and profit over everything else. Quaker's corporate response evidence was telling. Their products meet regulatory limits. The EPA allows up to 30,000 parts per billion, but that EPA standard was established in 2008, before the cancer findings from international health agencies, before California scientists added glyphosate to their official carcinogen list, before juries started awarding hundreds of millions in damages to cancer patients who used Roundup. Meeting an outdated regulatory limit means legal. Legal and safe are completely different things. Examine Simply Granola's ingredients: whole grain oats, then sugar, then brown sugar. Multiple sweeteners appear before you reach anything resembling actual food. One serving delivers around 13 grams of sugar depending on which variety you choose. For seniors with kidney concerns, repeated glyphosate exposure adds stress to organs already working overtime. For children eating this daily at breakfast, their smaller bodies accumulate residue faster than they can process and eliminate it. The word "simply" on that box might be the most deceptive claim in your entire pantry. If Quaker shocked you, wait until you see how the FDA responded to the next brand on this list. On number 8, the FDA actually stepped in. Kind Granola. Kind built an entire company around one word: their bars, their marketing, their corporate philosophy. Everything centered on being kind to your body. Health-conscious consumers paid premium prices believing they were making a smarter choice. Then federal regulators sent them a warning letter. In March 2015, the FDA formally notified Kind that 4 of their products could not legally use the term healthy on their packaging. The bars Kind marketed as the wholesome alternative failed the government's own nutritional standards because they contained too much saturated fat. The FDA stated directly that Kind's labeling was misleading to consumers. The company had been using healthy as a marketing claim without actually meeting the legal requirements for that term. Class action lawsuits followed almost immediately. Consumers accused Kind of false advertising, claiming the products contained unlawful levels of saturated fat alongside ingredients like soy lecithin and palm kernel oil. Kind challenged the ruling, arguing that fat from nuts should receive different treatment. Eventually, the FDA allowed them to continue using healthy, but only as corporate philosophy and not as an actual nutrition claim. A semantic workaround that kept the word on packages while technically promising nothing. Open a bag of Kind granola and count the sugar sources hiding in that ingredient list. Tapioca syrup, cane sugar, brown rice syrup, multiple sweeteners creating that addictive taste profile that keeps you reaching for more. One serving delivers 10 to 12 grams of sugar depending on which flavor you selected. A brand literally named Kind faced federal enforcement action for misleading consumers about what they were actually eating. For everyone who chose Kind because it felt like a healthier option, that FDA letter proved feelings and facts operate in completely different territories. Premium pricing bought premium marketing. The nutrition label told a different story entirely. The next brand built its image on an even more elaborate deception, a startup story that hides something much larger. On number 7, the origin story is a lie. Bare Naked. Picture 2 young entrepreneurs making granola in a home kitchen. Kelly Flatley and Brendan Sinnott built Bare Naked from nothing. They sold hand-packed bags to bed and breakfasts, eventually landing on shelves at Walmart and Target. The American dream wrapped in a granola package. Then in 2007, they sold to Kashi, a subsidiary of Kellogg, for a reported $60 million. That cute bear mascot still greets you on every bag. Those claims of pure and natural ingredients remain prominent. The entire founder narrative suggesting a scrappy underdog company fighting the good fight persists in their marketing. What you will never find anywhere on the packaging or the official website is one specific word: Kellogg. The Cornucopia Institute rates food companies on organic integrity and ethical practices. They give Bare Naked a score of 1 out of 5. Their assessment notes that Bare Naked actively conceals from customers that it became a Kellogg subsidiary years ago. The marketing still exploits that startup mythology, while the brand operates as part of a multinational corporation with over 31,000 employees and billions in annual revenue. Bare Naked was never organic. Kellogg markets it as 100% pure and natural, despite having no corporate policy against toxic pesticides, hexane extraction, or genetically engineered ingredients. They prominently display terms like non-GMO project verified because that certification sounds cleaner than admitting the oats likely contain the same glyphosate residue, contaminating every other conventional product on the market. When you purchase Bare Naked, you are not supporting passionate founders making small batch granola with care. You are funding funding the same corporate structure that manufactures Frosted Flakes and Pop-Tarts. That friendly bear on the packaging is wearing a very expensive disguise. Corporate ownership hiding behind indie branding is troubling enough. The next brand proves that even organic certification cannot protect you. On number 6, organic means less than you think. Cascadian Farm, that green USDA organic seal, commands attention. The founding story about Gene Kahn starting a small sustainable farm in the Cascade Mountains back in 1972 sounds inspiring. Cascadian Farm appears to represent everything the natural foods movement promised consumers. Then General Mills acquired the company and absorbed it into their portfolio. The same General Mills behind Nature Valley and Cheerios and all those glyphosate lawsuits now owns Cascadian Farm completely. They placed the organic seal on products manufactured by one of the largest processed food corporations on the planet. Here is what organic certification actually means for your granola. It confirms the oats were grown without synthetic pesticides applied directly. It says absolutely nothing about sugar content. It makes no promises about whether the product is actually healthy for you. It does not guarantee the finished product benefits your body in any meaningful way. Their oats and honey variety lists cane sugar as the second ingredient right after oats. One serving contains approximately 13 grams of sugar. The fact that sugar carries organic certification does not reduce its impact on your blood glucose whatsoever. Your pancreas responds identically regardless of whether sugar carries a USDA seal. The Environmental Working Group found no detectable glyphosate in Cascadian Farm's organic harvest berry granola bar during their testing. That represents genuinely good news. But their research also confirmed that organic products can still contain trace glyphosate levels from drift or cross-contamination during processing at shared facilities. For consumers paying the significant organic premium expecting guaranteed purity, Cascadian Farm reveals an uncomfortable market reality. Corporate ownership and organic certification coexist comfortably. That does not mean any individual product automatically earns your trust. Speaking of uncomfortable truths, the next brand has a name that makes a promise it absolutely cannot keep. On number 5, the name itself is deception. Back to nature. Back to nature. The name alone promises a return to wholesome, simple food, honest ingredients, real nutrition. That branding implies exactly what health-conscious shoppers desperately want to believe. Then examine the actual corporate ownership. B&G Foods, a massive conglomerate that also controls Green Giant, Ortega, and Cream of Wheat. Another startup aesthetic absorbed entirely into the corporate machine. When the Environmental Working Group tested granola products for glyphosate contamination, Back to Nature Classic Granola appeared on the list of products with potentially unsafe levels. It shared that distinction with Nature Valley and Quaker. One sample of Back to Nature banana walnut granola clusters showed combined glyphosate and breakdown product levels reaching 1,800 parts per billion, significantly higher than most products in the entire study. The brand provides zero disclosure about oat sourcing. No farm names appear anywhere. No harvest location information exists. No batch traceability allows verification. Just reassuring natural branding and corporate hope that you will never investigate further. Sugar features prominently across their ingredient lists. Honey, brown sugar syrup, multiple sweeteners combine to create clusters that taste more like cookies than genuine health food. The nature they want you to return to apparently includes industrial agriculture, completely opaque supply chains, and pesticide residue. For anyone who selected this brand assuming the name carried meaning, that assumption proved expensive. Marketing departments create product names. Farmers have no involvement in those decisions. If misleading names concern you, the next brand operates on pure image manipulation. Diet marketing meeting harsh nutritional reality. On number 4, weight loss claims meet sugar reality. Special K granola. Kellogg constructed the entire Special K brand on one central promise. This cereal helps you manage your weight. The Special K Challenge. Those slim silhouettes in every commercial. Decades of deliberate positioning as the intelligent choice for figure-conscious consumers. Their granola carries that identical implied promise. Light, smart, better for anyone watching their waistline. Then the UK Advertising Standards Authority banned their advertisements. In 2016, the ASA ruled that Kellogg's Special K commercials made misleading claims about nutritious benefits without proper scientific substantiation. Those ads could never run again again in their original form. Kellogg had violated EU regulations governing health and nutrition claims in advertising. Examine the actual nutritional content. Special K Touch of honey granola contains 9 grams of sugar per half cup serving. The ingredient list includes sugar, corn syrup, and modified cornstarch. BHT, a synthetic preservative, appears near the bottom. That sugar content rivals numerous products Special K positions itself as superior to. But clever branding convinces consumers they are making an enlightened dietary choice. The gap between consumer perception and nutritional reality is precisely where Kellogg generates profit. For anyone selecting Special K granola specifically for weight management purposes, that sugar will spike insulin levels and trigger subsequent cravings. The exact opposite physiological response from what any weight-conscious person needs. The truly special thing about Special K is the marketing budget. The nutrition label tells an entirely different story. Premium branding can mislead you. Budget pricing can hurt you in different ways. The next brand proves that cheap ingredients always come from somewhere. On number 3, the budget trap. Great value. Walmart's house brand. Around $4 per bag. For families stretching every grocery dollar, Great Value appears to represent a smart compromise. Allocate savings toward other priorities. But cheap ingredients must originate somewhere. Supply chains that deliver rock-bottom prices cut corners that consumers never see. When the Environmental Working Group tested oat products for the agricultural chemical chlormequat, Great Value oats and honey granola showed detectable levels exceeding 100 parts per billion. Chlormequat exposure in animal studies caused significant reproductive and developmental problems. The Trump administration EPA permitted higher levels in imported oats without conducting adequate safety review. Great Value provides absolutely zero transparency on ingredient sourcing. No origin disclosure exists. No batch codes enable verification. No information allows consumers to identify which farms grew those oats or how processing facilities handled them. You are trusting Walmart's global supply chain, the same corporation that prioritizes cost reduction above virtually every other consideration. Basic economics expose the impossibility. Quality oats cost farmers significant money to grow and harvest. Walmart sells finished granola at prices lower than what wholesale raw oats often cost on commodity markets. Somewhere along that supply chain, someone cuts corners to make that math function. You become the variable that absorbs those hidden costs. Pour Great Value granola into your bowl, and it appears acceptable. Uniform clusters, consistent coloring, but that uniformity indicates industrial standardization processes. Nothing about it suggests careful, small batch production. The price displayed at checkout represents one cost. Your body pays different costs over time. If budget brands concern you, premium health food branding should worry you equally. The next brand marketed itself as the pioneering alternative before its true nature surfaced. On number 2, the health food pioneer exposed. Kashi Go. Kashi entered the market in 1984, promising 7 whole grains on a mission. The brand became synonymous with natural food stores and conscious consumer choices. Parents felt genuinely good placing Kashi products in school lunchboxes. Health-conscious shoppers trusted them implicitly. Then customers discovered what natural actually meant behind that marketing. In 2012, a grocery store owner in Rhode Island investigated and found that Kashi used genetically engineered non-organic ingredients throughout their product line. He removed their products from his shelves entirely and shared his findings through social media. The resulting backlash spread rapidly through health-conscious communities. Consumers realized that Kashi had operated as a Kellogg subsidiary since 2000. The term natural carried zero legal definition or protection. Premium pricing bought marketing materials and shelf placement. Ingredient quality remained an entirely separate question. Kashi eventually committed to removing GMO ingredients and achieving non-GMO project verification by 2016. But the fundamental damage to consumer trust had already occurred. A brand constructed entirely on health-conscious positioning had utilized conventional industrial ingredients while charging significant premiums throughout that entire period. The pesticide contamination problem affects Kashi identically to other conventional brands. Unless products carry specific alternative certifications, conventional oats likely contain glyphosate residue from standard pre-harvest spraying practices. Kashi Go cereals and granolas source oats from the same agricultural system feeding every other major manufacturer. For original Kashi loyalists who paid premium prices believing they were avoiding precisely these problems, the revelation represented fundamental betrayal. The mission existed in marketing copy. Those 7 whole grains grew in fields managed exactly like everyone else's commodity crops. If that level of deception disturbs you, prepare yourself, because the #1 brand on this list represents the ultimate betrayal. The premium organic option that independent testing revealed carries something deeply troubling. On number 1, the premium organic betrayal, Purely Elizabeth. This revelation will hurt the most, because Purely Elizabeth embodies everything health-conscious consumers want granola to represent. Ancient grains, full organic certification, coconut sugar replacing refined sweeteners, superfood seeds including quinoa, amaranth, and chia, regenerative organic certified ingredients in their premium lines, beautiful packaging design, premium pricing reflecting apparent quality. Dietitians recommend this brand regularly. Whole Foods displays it prominently in their granola section. This appears to be the gold standard for conscious consumers. Then, independent laboratory testing found lead, arsenic, and cadmium. In September 2024, Lead Safe Mama commissioned laboratory analysis of Purely Elizabeth organic original ancient grain granola from an accredited testing facility. The results documented detectable levels of all 3 heavy metals, lead, arsenic, cadmium, present simultaneously in a product positioned and priced as the healthiest available option. These contaminants are not added ingredients. Heavy metals accumulate in soil from decades of industrial activity, legacy pesticide use, and persistent environmental contamination. Plants absorb these substances through their root systems during normal growth. The oats and seeds that make Purely Elizabeth feel so virtuous grow in the same contaminated earth as everything else. The Baby Food Safety Act of 2021 proposed specific action levels for heavy metals in food products precisely because these toxicants cause measurable lasting harm to developing children. Lead damages brain tissue and nervous system function. Cadmium accumulates in kidneys and weakens bone structure. Arsenic is classified as a known human carcinogen. That proposed legislation never passed into law. No federal limits currently exist. Companies can legally sell products containing these levels without any disclosure requirement. Purely, Elizabeth has not publicly addressed specific heavy metal testing results or contamination concerns. Their marketing emphasizes organic certification, which governs pesticide application but says nothing about heavy metal content in soil. The USDA organic seal provides zero information about lead levels in finished products. For parents who paid premium prices believing organic certification guaranteed purity, this represents the deepest betrayal. For health-conscious consumers who trusted ancient grains would protect them, reality proves far more complicated than any label can convey. The most trusted brand in the entire category still carries contamination that no marketing budget can filter out. If those 10 brands destroyed your confidence, stay with me, because genuine alternatives exist. Companies that actually test their products, actually publish their results, and actually earn the prices they charge. The first brand that earns real trust publishes everything. 7 Sundays. When glyphosate contamination headlines dominated news coverage in 2018, most food companies went silent or issued defensive corporate statements. 7 Sundays responded differently. They began publishing their laboratory test results directly on their company website for anyone to examine. This Minneapolis family-owned company achieved glyphosate residue-free certification from the Detox Project. Third-party laboratories verify their finished products contain no detectable glyphosate at government-established limits of detection, not trace amounts, not levels within regulatory limits, none detected whatsoever. They also conduct heavy metal testing and share those results publicly with consumers. When their sunflower cereal showed cadmium levels that fluctuated during drought conditions, they added California Proposition 65 disclosure labels to inform customers directly. Transparency persists even when news proves imperfect. 7 Sundays operates as a certified B Corporation, legally balancing profit requirements with verified social and environmental responsibilities sustainability metrics. They partner exclusively with oat suppliers, maintaining strict contractual bans on glyphosate as a pre-harvest desiccant. Their packaging incorporates minimum 30% post-consumer recycled materials. The products themselves feature whole ingredients visible through the packaging, real fruit pieces, identifiable seeds, clusters that hold together because of actual food components rather than industrial binding agents. Their zero added sugar varieties use dates for natural sweetness instead of processed syrups. Company founder Hannah Barnstable stated something that captures their philosophy perfectly. Many of our customers are not comfortable with any level of glyphosate, especially in breakfast foods the family eats every day. That single sentence reveals the fundamental difference. This company treats customer health concerns as valid and worthy of response. Other companies dismiss those concerns with corporate statements about regulatory compliance. 7 Sundays costs more than budget brands. That premium purchases testing, certification, transparency, and supply chain accountability that actually delivers protection. That represents what premium pricing should provide. The second trusted option offers complete traceability, 1 degree organic. Most granola packages tell you virtually nothing about ingredient origins. 1 degree organic places a QR code on every single box. Scan it with your phone and trace each ingredient back to the specific farms that grew it. They describe their approach as veganic, meaning no animal inputs or byproducts enter their agricultural methods at any stage. Their products carry both USDA organic certification and biochecked non-glyphosate certified verification simultaneously, 2 independent standards confirming their stated claims through separate testing protocols. Their sprouted oat granola uses oats that undergo sprouting before processing. Research suggests this technique increases nutrient bioavailability while reducing anti-nutrient compounds. Their ingredient lists remain remarkably short: oats, maple syrup, coconut oil, seeds, nothing requiring a chemistry degree to pronounce or understand. 1 degree publishes actual farmer names and farm locations. Consumers can identify exactly which grower produced the oats in their specific box. That traceability level makes cutting corners nearly impossible for any participant in their supply chain. When every source faces identification, accountability becomes structural rather than aspirational. For consumers who lost all trust in corporate brands hiding behind vague natural claims, 1 degree offers the inverse approach: complete visibility, verified independent standards, nothing concealed because everything already appears in public view. The third and most reliable option gives you complete control: homemade. No corporation can betray you when you source every ingredient yourself. Making granola at home requires approximately 30 minutes of total effort. Rolled oats, a light oil like olive or avocado, a modest amount of maple syrup or honey, whatever seeds and nuts appeal to you, a pinch of salt, cinnamon to taste. Combine everything, spread it across a sheet pan, bake at 325 degrees until golden. Stir once halfway through baking. You select the oats. Purchase certified organic from brands like Bob's Red Mill or 1 degree when you want to minimize pesticide exposure. You determine sugar content. Most homemade recipes use a fraction of what commercial brands add to create that addictive cluster formation. You decide precisely what enters your bowl and what stays completely out of your kitchen. Cost per serving works out cheaper than premium commercial brands once you calculate accurately. Taste quality rivals anything sold in bags at any price point. You never wonder about undisclosed lawsuits or laboratory findings or hidden corporate ownership because you control the entire supply chain from store shelf to breakfast bowl. For families with children, making granola together provides lasting food literacy education. Kids learn that breakfast originates from recognizable ingredients combined with intention and care. That understanding outlasts any marketing campaign and builds lifelong healthy eating patterns. Go check your pantry right now. Examine those bags and boxes you trusted. Look at ingredient lists with fresh eyes. Research the corporate ownership behind friendly packaging designs. Consider what independent testing has revealed about products occupying shelf space in millions of kitchens. That granola you grabbed, believing it represented a healthy choice, carries stories the companies never wanted you to hear. Lawsuits settled quietly. Labels changed without announcement. Contamination levels disclosed only when independent organizations forced transparency. Your breakfast deserves better. Your family deserves better. Now you know exactly which brands fail that standard and which ones actually earn space in your kitchen. If this information helped protect your family, share it with someone still trusting labels over lab results. Drop a comment telling me which brand surprised you most. And check your pantry today, because what you discover might change tomorrow's breakfast permanently.